Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Brian Mansell Show. As always, I am your host, Brian Mansell, and we got to talk about Christian Wilkins. I cannot beat around the bush here. Christian Wilkins got released by the Raiders in a stunning move in the last few days, and the reason we're getting is he kissed a teammate on his forehead, and the teammate took offense to it.
Huh?
Yeah, we're going to have to unpack that one, because there's no way that's the sole reason. Before we do that, make sure you guys have liked and subscribed so this way you don't miss out on any new content coming out on our YouTube channel, on Twitch, and on social media, because we're not just doing sports content, we're doing other personal content too, including gaming. So make sure to check out all the channels, follow up, sub up, and everything. Now let's get back to the video. Christian Wilkins just got released by the Las Vegas Raiders, and I don't know how else to put it except it's the right move. It made total sense. But what I don't like is how it's going to be taken in terms of jokes by the fans and media members alike, because I need to tell you guys what the real reason is. So, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, it's not the sole reason he was kicked off the team, or he was cut in this sense. You know, there's a thing about consent, clearly, and consent is a big deal. And you can't just go around kissing guys on their foreheads and doing like weird stuff, because that's technically groping, that's misdemeanors, that's assault, that like you're making them comfortable, and that's not okay. And in a locker room you can't be doing that. And I've heard that this is potentially something that was dating back to Clemson days, and if that's the case, that's even worse. But here's where I get a little off about it. The conduct of that player, of Wilkins, is no different than the conduct of other guys who have done stuff either just as bad or also just done bad stuff and still have jobs in the league. The thing is, this is a case that is very weird. It's not just that. There has to be another reason why you get rid of a guy. And the other reason I'm seeing is that it's kind of how he treated his injury. Now, keep in mind, there's like 3 levels here of what went down that led to him getting cut. So we have the consent thing with him kissing the guy on the forehead. We get that. But we also forget he had missed most of last season on his first year of his contract due to a Jones fracture. It ended his season. He played 5 games. He got 17 tackles, 2 sacks, 6 quarterback hits in those 5 games before he got the injury. Now, it's a 4-year deal. He had $110 million, $84.75 million was guaranteed. So he had to get all of that guaranteed money. Before that, he was with the Dolphins, if you may remember or may not. He was with the Dolphins before that, where he ended up posting a career-best 9 sacks in 2023 that got him that big contract last year. So here's where it becomes a problem. When you get injured, there's an expectation that's set for you. We're going to be here. We're going to help you through the process. We're going to support you. You have access to our facilities during the season, and we may even give you that access during the offseason to rehab and get better. There is that access given and that privilege given. From what I'm understanding, Wilkins did not treat the rehab seriously. Not at the way he should have, because a Jones fracture is no small injury. That is a serious injury that could definitely affect the way you can turn, affect your torque. Everything involving that injury could really hurt you. And you have to be very wise and very patient with how you handle it. And Wilkins did not handle it well, from what I know. And that was the main reason he actually was cut, is because he just didn't handle the injury well. Now, when you're rehabbing, there's expectations. You have to hit benchmarks. You have to maintain your weight. You have to be taking care of yourself and actively be getting better at this set time frame and what they should be giving you. Now, I'm not saying a Jones fracture is something you rush back from. They weren't looking to rush this guy back. But with Wilkins' case, the way you would get cut like this would mean you're not meeting the benchmarks of the program and you're not hitting the markers in your rehab assignment. So if you're not doing that, it makes it look like you're not playing for the team and you're not taking it seriously. Now you add on this complaint that was sent to Raiders HR that he had kissed a teammate on the head, and it was playful, is how it was described by Wilkins, but the teammate didn't see it that way. So, like, this is a whole thing. We don't know what the fellow player did after the incident, but we do know one thing. Wilkins did end up getting disciplined, and the discipline is he's off the team. But it's not the sole reason. It's a contributing factor, but it's not the main reason. So I don't like how the fans have already taken this and said, oh, it's because he's got these. They're taking it and putting it in a very, like, I want to say homophobic sense, kind of. They're kind of going down that route, and it really shouldn't be going that direction. It's more of, it needs to be focused on, okay, was he doing his job right? Was he recovering the correct way? Was he taking it seriously? Was he trying to get better? And everything I've heard is indicating no. He was not moving at the rate he needed to. He got released with the designation of terminated vested veteran. And the union is going to file a grievance in his behalf. So the union's going to fight this now. But I'm going to tell you now, the union is not going to win this battle. Because if there really is proof that this guy was not doing what he was paid to do, to get better, to improve, to get his health in order so he can get back to the field, he's going to lose. There's no excuse to then be like, oh, well, this is the wrong way to fire him. It was wrongful termination. No, it was the correct termination because when you sign a contract, you have an expectation. Your expectation is to come in the door, be ready to play, and give it all to your team. You're working for your team, not for yourself. That's a lot of that's a thing I think a lot of guys overlook, and a lot of fans can kind of see it too, which is weird because I always talk about there's a divide between the fans, media, and players and coaches, that is. So the divide is the fans know almost nothing. In anything in the football world, they don't know it, and this is not supposed to be a dig to you guys, to the viewers. This is not a dig to you, but it's a plain fact, and I think we both can acknowledge it. That the knowledge that a fan has on the game of football and what happens in a locker room and in the front office, they do not have the same knowledge that a media member would have. Because the media member could actually talk to those players, interview those players, and talk to the front office and the coaches and everything. So they actually get the insight. So they know a little bit more. So the media knows more than the fans. That's a fair assessment. But then the media to the players and the coaches, the media knows what's told to them. They don't know the X's and O's, the inside things, unless they formerly played the game. So there's this other divide. And then you look at that gap between the fans and then the players and coaches, and it's massive. Nobody can see that. I mean, it's very hard for a fan to understand what goes through the mind of a player and a coach. The expectation in a locker room and in a facility is that you're here to play for your team. You're here to play for the other guys. You're here to play for your coach. You're here to play to win. That's the point. Every team preaches the same thing. This is a team. This is a community. You're not playing for yourself. You're playing for yourself. You're on the wrong team. It's always been that way. Nothing changes that. Some players don't have that mindset. And some guys get lazy, or some guys get really focused, hyper-focused on themselves. And, making themselves better and, focusing on what's good for them, not what's good for the team. And I think Wilkins was kind of drifting into that territory of, well, if you're not rehabbing correctly, right? And you're not following the orders of what's given to you, and you're not doing the things they tell you to do, right? And you're not following and taking it seriously, it's going to appear to people as if you're lazy and unmotivated. Am I saying that's Wilkins? No. I'm saying what it appears to people. It appears to others as you are lazy and unmotivated, even if that's not true. Wilkins got released because he was not following his regimen on his rehab to be ready for the season. And two, this just was amplified by this story about him with the teammate. So what I think happens here is it's a load of things. It just started piling, and the icing on the cake was literally this incident here with him not taking his rehab seriously. And then they just threw that in as filler to be like, oh, but look at this. It's clickbait. It's clickbait. No. Stop with the clickbait. It's part of it, yes, but it's not as big of a reason to cut a guy as it is not rehabbing and getting better back from your injury on time. That's the problem. And a Jones fracture, you should have been ready to go for training camp. And if you weren't ready to go, something happened. But what I also want to understand is they say that the decision to cut and release Wilkins took a long time to do. And to me, for this to be a long decision-making process, that means the Raiders gave every opportunity there was for him to not get cut. And even Pete Carroll explained it back on Friday. They watched our way through the whole thing. We're keeping it really clear with what we said. I think there was no clear path to his return, so we just had to move on. So that is more of in line with what I was saying. That he was supposed to meet a certain deadline to be ready to play on the field and take on-field drills. He was not ready. Therefore, it was time to move on. They gave him opportunities and chances to get ready and be ready. And, maybe they were extending that deadline and he just wasn't meeting it each time. And that eventually, when you get multiple chances and you fail multiple chances, you will get cut. And that's the case. Again, he says, we have really high expectations. I don't even know any other way to think. I don't care for what year or team it is. It doesn't matter to me. You're either going for it or you're not. We are going for it, and these guys are on board, and they get it. That's Pete Carroll's words. So what it sounds like, according to what he's framing, is that Wilkins wasn't as committed to the Raiders as the other players were. So he wasn't playing for the team. He was focused on other things, which is fair. That's a fair reason to get rid of somebody. So let's stop with the talk that it was because he kissed a guy on the forehead, a teammate on the forehead, and the teammate got offended. Yes, that is a contributor because they had to note it. But it's a minor reason that is focused on more than the actual concrete reason. He will get a job again. Don't worry. I know Christian Wilkins is going to get another job in the NFL. He's only 29. But it's probably not going to be this season. Not until he gets everything in under control or under wraps. Once he's fully healed and ready to do on field, then a team is going to express interest. But until then, he's got plenty of time to rehab and get ready for his next job, wherever that may be. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you're still watching up to this point, make sure you like and subscribe. What are you doing, man? Turn on the notifications. Make sure you followed all the social channels. And also make sure to follow and subscribe to the Twitch channel. We are going to be doing more content on Twitch soon, doing gaming content, sports content, play-by-play, game breakdowns, interviews, you name it, we're doing it. So be prepared for that. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of engaging content. But until then, we'll see you guys soon, and enjoy the rest of your week.